At 6.
Welcome to World News Tonight. President Trump, his most direct attack on the special counsel yet, going after Robert Mueller by name, tearing into Comey and into just fired Deputy Director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe. Is the president setting the stage to fire the special counsel? Also tonight, data grab and the elections. The former insider speaking out. What he says about collecting personal information on Facebook, claiming to use it to influence the way people vote, the company he worked for, and their ties to the Trump campaign. Under arrest, the married father who disappeared with a teen from Pennsylvania, running away to Cancun on a one-way flight. Now he's in police custody. High-flying horror. A Cirque du Soleil performance takes a deadly turn. The aerialist thrown, the audience stunned, and now the investigation. How did this happen? The raging inferno in a major American city. And Spring Slam, the severe weather threat moving east tonight. Will it snow on the first day of spring? Sam Champion standing by with the track.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Tom Yamas, and we begin tonight with President Trump and his most direct attack on special counsel Robert Mueller yet. The president on Twitter sparing no one close to the Russia investigation, unloading on Mueller, again insisting the special counsel is running a partisan witch hunt, this time by name. The president also blasting fired FBI Director Andrew McCabe, a firing Trump's attorney used to insist that the investigation should be shut down. The attack reigniting questions about whether Trump might fire Mueller, and if not, will he cooperate? ABC's Tara Palmieri is at the White House tonight.
Tonight, President Trump escalating his attack, now targeting the very top of the Russia investigation, tweeting his strongest rebuke yet at special counsel Robert Mueller. The Mueller probe should have never been started, in that there was no collusion and there was no crime. Witch hunt.
The Russia story is a total fabrication.
I call it the Russian hoax.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt, and there is no collusion.
Trump has consistently undermined the investigation, but this latest direct shot at Mueller comes as his lead attorney is calling for the case to be shut down. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle warning Trump that firing Mueller will have severe consequences.
If he tried to do that, that would be the beginning of the end of his presidency, because we're a rule of law nation.
This would undoubtedly result in a constitutional crisis, and I think Democrats and Republicans need to speak out about this right now.
Tonight, Mueller's team combing through new evidence. A source telling ABC News fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe has been interviewed by investigators and handed over memos detailing his interactions with Trump.
You cannot stop the men and women of the FBI from doing the right thing, protecting the American people, and upholding the Constitution.
McCabe was axed ahead of an Inspector General report that accuses him of leaking and then not being truthful when asked about it. He has denied wrongdoing. He says he's been singled out in the aftermath of FBI Director James Comey's firing. Trump blasted McCabe and his memos with a tweet. Spent very little time with Andrew McCabe, but he never took notes when he was with me. I don't believe he made memos except to help his own agenda, probably at a later date. Same with lying James Comey. Can we call them fake memos? Republicans now urging Trump to show restraint as his frustration nears a boiling point.
If you've done nothing wrong, you should want the investigation to be as fulsome and thorough as possible.
All right, let's bring in Tara Palmieri. She's joining us now from the White House. And Tara, President Trump also tweeted about the makeup of Mueller's team, saying it's biased based on their political affiliations. But that tweet wasn't exactly correct.
That's right, Tom. President Trump tweeted in part, "Why does the Mueller team have 13 hardened Democrats and 0 Republicans?" We checked. 13 of the investigators are registered as Democrats, but 4 are unaffiliated with either party. The leader of the investigation, Robert Mueller, was registered as a Republican. Tom?
Tara Palmieri leading us off from the White House. Tara, thank you. Next tonight, the big data grab and elections, and a former insider speaking out for the first time, describing to ABC News tactics used to collect personal information on Facebook and use it to influence voters. ABC's James Longman with the interview.
Tonight, a data company tied to President Trump's 2016 campaign is under investigation by Facebook, accused by the internet giant of mishandling more than 50 million Americans' personal information.
If you are looking at trying to create information weapons, the battle space that you operate in is social media. That is where the fight happens.
In 2014, when just 24 years old, self-confessed politics geek Chris Wjla worked for that company, Cambridge Analytica. The organization helps political candidates better target voters online. Speaking for the first time on American television since blowing the whistle, Wjla claims Cambridge Analytica, using a third party, took data from the Facebook accounts of up to 50 million Americans.
Weaponizing the internet.
Weaponizing the internet, absolutely.
Wjla says Cambridge Analytica would create online quizzes. When Facebook users opted in to those innocent-looking tests, they were actually giving Cambridge Analytica access to not just their data, but that of all their friends.
It's sort of like the digital shadow of yourself. So when you think about what you do on social media, you curate your identity. So when you like things, when you follow things, you reveal all these little clues. And if we have enough of those clues, we can start to develop a portrait of who you are.
And armed with that info, Wjla says the company had a questionable power.
Cambridge Analytica will try to pick at whatever mental weakness or vulnerability that we think you have and try to warp your perception of what's real around you.
Now, Facebook has banned Chris Wjla, that third party, and Cambridge Analytica. The company denies any wrongdoing and says it doesn't use or hold Facebook data. 2 years later, the firm went on to work for the Trump campaign, but says it never used that data in question. The campaign itself denies using Cambridge Analytica's data, saying it relied on information from the RNC, and any claims that voter data were used from another source to support the victory in 2016 are false. But Wjla says some of the familiar phrases heard on the campaign trail were actually tested years earlier.
We tested things like Drain the Swamp. A lot of the narratives of the alt-right, we started testing before really they gained prominence in American political discourse.
Wjla left the company after about a year on bad terms. He said he's coming forward now because he feels bad about the impact of his work, particularly following the US election. Tom?
James Longman tonight with that big interview. James, thank you. Next tonight, a 45-year-old father of 4 in police custody after allegedly disappearing to Mexico with a 16-year-old girl. Kevin Esterly, now in Miami, facing possible extradition after his arrest near Playa del Carmen in Mexico. That teen now home safe in Pennsylvania, but there are still questions about the suspect and the charges he may face. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, a freshly minted mugshot for this married father of 4, arrested after leaving the country with this Pennsylvania teen. Mexican officials say 16-year-old Amy Yu and 45-year-old Kevin Esterly were located in Puerto Morelos, Mexico, ending a nearly 2-week international manhunt. Esterly detained in front of an apartment complex, now in a Miami jail awaiting extradition. Authorities confirming Amy is unharmed and in good health, reunited with her mother in Allentown. This as new details emerge about Esterly's alleged relationship with Amy, his eldest daughter's close friend.
It grew to be a situation where Kevin was taking Amy out of school on a regular basis, pretending to be a father figure, but it was more than that.
Esterly's wife, Stacy, speaking to ABC News through her attorney, claiming she repeatedly confronted her husband about the teen.
It was reaching the breaking point.
Tom Esterly now faces a third-degree felony charge of interference with the custody of a child. Police not ruling out additional charges. Tom?
Ariel Reshef for us tonight. Ariel, thank you. Overseas now and to an election day in Russia. Vladimir Putin casting a ballot for a 4th term in a presidential election there was no doubt he would win. Then addressing the mounting questions abroad about Russia's alleged role in a deadly nerve agent attack in the UK. ABC's Terry Moran is in Moscow tonight.
Tonight in Red Square, Vladimir Putin triumphant. Winning a 4th term as president. And after his victory speech, he denied that Russia had anything to do with that nerve agent attack in Britain on a former spy and his daughter, calling it a fantasy and rubbish that someone would do something like this on the eve of the presidential elections. Putin's unbounded power, a growing threat in the West. But Putin's in total control of Russia, and nothing here was left to chance. A main opponent, Viktor Navalny, a protest leader, banned from running after being charged with corruption just before the race began. And check this, brazen ballot stuffing caught on camera. Look at them stuff votes in. This woman casts a stack of votes. The odd thing is, Putin didn't need all this. He's hugely popular, as we found at a Moscow polling station. I voted for my current President Putin, she tells us. He guarantees us peace and a good life. But peace is exactly what Britain and Western allies say Putin is threatening with a chemical weapon attack in England.
But Russians don't believe it. Many of them have become cynical and conspiracy-minded after all these years. The only certain reality here is that Vladimir Putin will rule Russia for another 6 years, at least. Tom?
Terry Moran in Election Day there in Russia. Terry, thank you. Back here at home, a Cirque du Soleil performance in Florida taking a deadly turn. An aerialist thrown during a performance as the audience watched. He did not survive. ABC's Whit Johnson has the details.
Hundreds in a Tampa audience captivated as acrobats swing overhead. Then horror. These images showing the performer plummeting to the hard stage below.
They had a performer that fell from an unknown height.
Cell phone video capturing the chaos and emergency response.
They were even scared to touch him or move him. So I feel like us as the audience, we were scared to move or speak.
The tragedy happening Saturday night in Tampa, Florida at the show Volta by Cirque du Soleil.
Neither one of us has ever seen anything like that. And it was shocking to everyone.
Tonight, Cirque du Soleil confirming the man who fell is Jan Arnaud, a veteran aerial strap specialist. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he later died. On his Instagram page, Arnaud posting this video of his Volta solo act. Tonight, the circus company releasing a statement saying the entire Cirque du Soleil family is in shock and devastated by this tragedy. But it's happened before. In the past decade, Cirque du Soleil has had several onstage accidents, including its first fatality in 2013.
Tom, Cirque du Soleil is canceling the rest of its weekend Volta shows in Tampa. Police are now investigating the accident. Tom?
Whit, thank you. We head now to Puerto Rico nearly 6 months after Hurricane Maria slammed into the island. Still more than 100,000 without power. The grid in a state of, quote, devastation. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is on the island tonight.
It's been nearly 6 months since Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico, leaving most of it in the dark. Tonight, Maribel Rodriguez is still waiting for the lights to turn on. Maribel is one of the island's 100,000 customers without power, spending some $3,000 on gas for the generator to power her home at night. She claims she doesn't qualify for FEMA dollars because her home is in, quote, living condition. We first made the journey here, this road to Morovis, after Maria hit. We found roads caked with debris. Families forced to make a white-knuckle crossing with only a wire to hold on to.
This used to be part of the bridge that has now completely collapsed in the force of Hurricane Maria.
Today, we found a new bridge being built, a sign of recovery. In the air, the Army Corps of Engineers flying helicopters, lifting power poles across the countryside and dropping workers on them, trying to restore power to towns like Morovis.
It's the biggest challenge ever as far as devastation to an electrical grid system in the United States.
In San Juan, life starting to return to normal, tourism slowly coming back, but for Maribel and others, the recovery continues.
Maria caused more than $100 billion in damage. More than 130,000 people have left this island since. Tom?
Eva Pilgrim for us tonight. Eva, thank you. And there'll be much more on the ongoing issues in Puerto Rico tomorrow and Tuesday as we hit that 6-month anniversary on Good Morning America. Now to the major storm marching east tonight with snow blanketing the high plains and severe weather in the south. Hail pounding this backyard. You can hear it there just outside of Waco, Texas. In Tennessee, powerful thunderstorms, dramatic lightning strikes lighting up the sky. Winter showing no sign of letting up, even with the first day of spring Tuesday. Here's ABC weather anchor Sam Champion. And Sam, you were telling me before the show there's a new development with the storm?
Yeah, definitely. This storm just got more complicated, Tom, and it could mean trouble for some people. So let's get right to the board and show everyone what's going on. We start tonight with the possibility of severe storms tonight. So look at this area. As the storm continues to move east, it's from Dallas all the way toward Atlanta in Georgia. And these storms, one of the reasons I want to highlight it is that area there from Huntsville, Chattanooga, Nashville. This could mean there could be a strong tornado in there and very severe storm. So keep an eye on that. Now watch the storm. This low